Hey everyone, I'm Chris Long with Go Fish Digital, and today I wanted to walk you through another really great update to Screaming Frog. They have just launched a new update that makes their ChatGPT crawling even easier. This is really one of the biggest new features of Screaming Frog, their ChatGPT crawling, and now they're making it even easier for SEOs to utilize. So I'm going to show you how you can use that using this new feature. So if you want to read the full blog post, it's up here. They added a lot of great new functionality, including a direct integration with OpenAI and different language models, as well as some really cool new accessibility features. I'm going to go over the former here and show you how to use the API integration. So let's say we're Burton's, then we're looking to use Screaming Frog to get some automatically generated alt text for our images, but we want to use this new integration to do it. So I'm going to open up Screaming Frog here, and first I'm going to go into configuration. Previously, you had to go to custom JavaScript, but now you can actually go to API access, and you see this new AI tab that appears. And here you can actually choose different language models between Gemini. I'll use OpenAI here. And then next, it's actually going to prompt you for your API key. Instead of having to enter it for every single prompt, you can only enter it once, which makes things just a lot easier to do. So I'm going to go ahead and configure this. Now that I've added my API key, I need to configure my prompt. So I go to add from library here. You can see they have a few standard libraries that they have by default. You can create your own. And what's really cool here is now instead of having to work out of kind of a traditional code file, right? Here you can actually just use the drop-down editor in order to configure the prompt. So instead of having to dig around in the code and configure your API and configure your prompt, here you can just see your prompt directly in this drop-down, and you can start to configure it if you wanted to make any changes at all to it. As well, they've also added testing directly in the platform. So here, if I wanted to say, hey, what's it going to look like before I actually start my crawl? Do I need to configure my prompt at all? I can actually test that. So I'll click the play button, and then I can actually insert a test URL, click this test button right here. It's going to run the image, and then it's actually going to send the request and then show me what a sample test looks like. So you can see I get the OpenAI response back, and then I can start to refine my prompt should I need to in the future. So I'm going to click OK. Final thing I want you to notice here is that in order to crawl it, I don't need to have JavaScript crawling on like you do with custom JavaScript. So here I'm going to go to rendering, and normally you would have to turn on JavaScript on, but here I'm just going to keep the old Ajax crawling scheme, the standard default crawling mechanism. It's going to make your crawls a lot faster, a lot less resource heavy, and a lot easier to utilize. So I'm going to click OK there. I'm just going to start my crawl, and then it's going to take Screaming Frog a minute or two in order to start collecting that data for me. But I want you to notice is way down at the bottom here, at the very, very bottom of the right-hand sidebar, you're going to see another AI sidebar right here, and then you're going to see your prompt for ChatGPT or OpenAI or whatever language model you're using right here. And then you're going to see directly in it, you'll start to see the OpenAI connection, right? You'll start to be able to see, hey, can I start to use some of this content for my alt text or whatever prompting solution you're using it for. So now you'll be able to see that in this new AI tab right here. So super cool feature, allows you to directly integrate Screaming Frog into OpenAI, and it's an alternative other than just using custom JavaScript. Makes things a lot easier in order to be able to do. Highly recommend that SEOs check out this feature. It is one of the most exciting new features of Screaming Frog. Tons of different great use cases for it. So go on and check that out.